And I am live. This is the Booktube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube, and I am doing a get ready with me, which means I'm putting on makeup and just chatting. And I see Fit to be Read is here already in the waiting room. I don't know if you're alone or not, but if you're here, please sound off. So yeah, so I'm doing makeup. And I was going to try to go lighter on my contour, and it just got out of control as per usual. So, oh well. Happy Pride. Yes, thank you, Fit. And Blue Black is here, Lynette is here, and Kayla is here. Hey, Kayla. Okay, now what I was going to do, I was going to do a red and purple look, but I'm always talking about using my flash palette, which is face paint for like kids and stuff, but it's supposed to deepen the color underneath the eyeshadow, and I always forget to do it. So I think I'm going to do it today, and I think I'm going to do purple here and then red here. Well, let's see how this goes. This could be a big mistake. Well, I guess I'll just bring the red down. Nice and red. Blend it out a little bit. And Cappuccino's here. I think this is the whole gang. Okay, and purple, and I don't have purple. Purple is what? Red and blue, right? So let me try to mix up some purple, which I'll do on the back of my hand, and some blue. Why does this look black? This is what I just mixed up. Doesn't look... Okay, maybe I'll put a little bit of white in it. Maybe that's what it needs. Put the white. C'est Kevin! Yeah, today I am doing a collab with Kevin. And I guess we're both getting into drag, which is great, because I know Kevin oftentimes doesn't do drag, book reviews and drag. So we are in for a treat. And Kevin is a much better makeup artist than I am, so I'm going to have to up my game. Okay, so that's going to be the flash palette. And let's see what happens when I put eyeshadow over it. I should click some of you guys. Of course I got to get in drag for the clap. It'll be fun. Can't wait to see it. Tomorrow is fun. Oh, happy birthday. Older than dirt. I know the feeling. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to stamp as much red as I can. Yeah, the colors are definitely more vibrant with the flash palette underneath. Of course, I am terrible at blending things out. You know what? The one bad thing about Booktube is you just find out things about authors you don't want to know about. Because I just finished watching Jess Owen's book community video. That was, I guess, kind of, I shouldn't say calling out, but having a discussion about T.J. Klune's House on a Cerulean Sea, which, oh boy, it's going to be a look today. And I liked that book. So I was kind of surprised that there was any, I have better purple. Come on, I have to have purple. That was even an issue. But apparently the controversy was T.J. Klune in some interview had said, oh, I was inspired by this event that happened in Canada where they took Indigenous people and took their children away from them to force them to go into the schools. And this was actually, the first time I ever heard about this was in the next Netflix series, Anne with an E. I don't know if you've seen that, but they covered exactly that same topic. And I guess the controversy, such as it is, was whether or not T.J. Klune was using, what was the word Jess used? Was using another culture's trauma to inspire them. But my thing is, there are so many first of all, no one would have known this unless T.J. Klune hadn't said anything about his inspiration. And of course, I'm not an Indigenous Canadian. But so many fantasy writers and so many writers in general use real world events and history to inspire their books. And inspiring is not the same as retelling the story. So he didn't like retell that story in Canada. He just used it as inspiration for House on the Cerulean Sea. And I'm finding it difficult to see the controversy. You guys may disagree. Cappuccino watched that tea video this morning. Happened in the US. I didn't know that, but I am not surprised. Happened in Australia. What is that? Oh, The House on the Cerulean Sea. I was not into it. Well, the thing about that book, because T.J. Klune mostly writes middle grades, I believe, or maybe young adult, but he writes pretty young, and that type of writing style, he used that for House on the Cerulean Sea, and it's not for everyone because it's a very strong writing voice, but it's also on the whimsical side, I think. Did have in the U.S. Sadly, we put. Oh, and here's another thing. I commented. I forgot what I think it was on Ashley from Bookish Realm. I commented on one of her videos about when it's difficult for her to support an author, even though they're, or when is it right to not read an author for her? It's a personal thing. She wasn't saying everyone should do the same. And a lot of people were commenting, well, when the author is dead. And I had commented, well, I kind of felt that way too, that if an author is dead, you're not putting money in their pockets, what's the big deal? Until I read Marion Zimmer Bradley's, it was pretty horrific. It was abuse of her children. I'll just say that. And so even though I think Mists of Avalon is one of the great feminist fantasy literature novels out there, and I think it's an incredible book, after I read about those allegations, I felt it difficult to read her afterwards. And then someone else commented down and saying, oh, I feel the same way about David Eddings. And David Eddings is a fantasy author who wrote The Belgariad and some fantasy books I was really into in the 80s, 90s. But he fell out of favor to me because one of his villains was sort of the stereotypical gay person with a really thick lisp and was kind of a pedophile. So I was like, really, that's your representation of gay people? I'm not really into that. So I stopped reading him. So that's what I thought that they were referring to of his depictions of maybe LGBT people. But it wasn't. It was uncovered after he had passed away that he was a year in jail for child abuse with his wife. His wife was also accused, and they were like, he had adopted children, and he was locking them up in cages. That's just what reminded me when you said locking them up in cages. But he literally did that weird thing back in, I don't know, the 70s or something. So I think that's one of the downfalls of getting into Booktube is you just find these things out about authors. And I don't know what to think sometimes. So sometimes I wish I didn't know. But maybe that's irresponsible of me. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to stop with this. This is not blended at all. Well, here, let me do this. Let me try to blend some white cream. There's that little mirror. Of course, it's not taught in schools. Yeah. Just like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago about the relocation camps of Japanese Americans, of which my family was put into the camps. Oh yeah, Britain sent poor children to, I didn't know that. I thought it was just criminals to Australia, but for me, it's the worst thing about our country in the past decade. I read Zimmer Bradley in high school, had thought in recent years about going back to reread. Then I heard about, it's really over the top. I don't. If you have any trigger warnings, don't look it up. Legal aid attorney, and we are fighting hard to change things and to have it remembered. Wow, excellent. Orson Scott Card is terrible, but Ender's Game and Speak for the Dead are two of the best science fiction books ever. I was thinking of doing a reaction video and talking about how at some point art no longer belongs to the artist. Oh, I feel the same way about Orson Scott Card. Well, I don't know if I would go as far as to say the best science fiction books ever, but I did enjoy his writing. I liked his, of course, I liked the Ender's Game series. I also liked his fantasies. Was it Alvin Maker or something like that? But I was also in California during the Prop 8 stuff, which was the first time gay marriage got on a state ballot. And we were married at the time, my husband and I. We got married twice. Once in, I forget the years now, but Gavin Newsom he's currently the governor of California. But he was the mayor of San Francisco. And one day he just said, you know what? People should get married. I'm letting anyone in San Francisco who's a same-sex couple get married. So that's the first time we did it. That was invalidated by the courts. So that marriage didn't take. But then we married again. And then the Prop 8 thing came out. Anyway, that's when Orson Scott Card was really like writing some really nasty things about gay people. I mean, he was going so far as to say that gay sex should be criminalized. It should remain on the books to discourage young people from. It's always about the young people, to discourage the young people from getting married. So he actually wanted to go back to criminalizing gay relationships, which was really over the top. Do I need a transition color? God. Carr wants to write a new Ender book. Nobody will accept it. Yeah. And remember when the movie came out, there was a big hubbub about that too. Okay. I don't know who that is. Stieg Larsson's books because the money goes to his estranged family, not to his long-term partner. Ooh. I'm not going to look that one up. That's just going to piss me off. I believe there may be some states where those laws are still on the books, but rarely enforced. Yeah, sodomy laws. In Sweden, people's names are published when they marry, so Stieg couldn't marry due to death threats. Ooh, oh no. Oh, the world we live in, guys. Okay, I'm going with a lighter shade to see if this can be blended at all. I probably used too much of the flash palette now that I'm thinking about it. If Kevy's still watching, Kevy, you need to give me lessons on how to blend because I can't do it. Actually, no, it doesn't look too bad on screen. That's what happens a lot. Sometimes in the mirror, I'm just like, oh, this looks horrible. But then on screen, it doesn't look too bad. And of course, sometimes vice versa. This is just a little pink. I can get it to kind of pretend to blend. Okay. I think I'm going to get to black next, but let's see. Oh, okay. I've not read that, but I have seen the both versions of the movie, the Swedish version, American version. God, I need more brushes. She passed away already? Because those books weren't that old, were they? I don't know how old he is. Talking about controversies, I finally, because if you don't know, I have Disney Plus. I think I've talked about that before. But so I finally saw Raya and the Last Dragon, which I enjoyed a lot. But I remember there was some controversy in the Booktube community about someone comparing it to Avatar. Actually, I shouldn't talk about this because I don't remember the controversy at all, but it just seemed really silly to me. Well, my husband, who's Filipino, the two sticks that Rhea uses, if you see the movie, is a Filipino fighting martial art style, which I did not know. Gosh, even with that undercoat of red, it's turning pink again. I hope this looks okay, guys. I want to move on. He's 50 when he died. Okay, it's that. That is young. Yeah, agreed. Goddess, I laughed so much with your take on Lori. I thought of you dragged as Maleficent and say, and till we meet again, may all the books you write be out. Okay, I'm going to cut this crease and just get on with it. Oh, I finished Rebecca Roanhorse's middle grade book. What's it called? Race to the Sun, something like that. And I have to say I was disappointed in it. something happens in some middle grade books, especially if they're written in first person, where there's the characters are just too they don't take themselves seriously. You know, it's too what's the word I want? Sorry, I'm trying to paint and think of a word at the same time. They're too much of a smart aleck. When the kids are too much of a smart aleck, like in the midst of a battle or meeting this great evil, and they have these little quips and stuff, I don't like it that much. It sort of takes me out of it. And I know middle grades, you want comedy in them, and there's just a fine line for me. Where it's just too much. The kid's just too spunky, too much of a know-it-all, too self-aware. It also happened to me on, I forget the name of the author, but it's called The Serpent's Kiss? Someone in the Serpent, based on Indian mythos, and I just did not like that book. Okay. Start on the black. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, no. Oh, Black Sun is her adult book. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to say. That's not going to, even though I did not like her middle grade book, that's not going to prevent me from reading Black Sun in the sequel. I'm waiting for the sequel to come out. Because this isn't the first time I've read an adult author, or an author that mainly writes adult or young adult, and then switches to middle grade. Because V.E. Schwab did the same thing. She wrote a middle, and I generally like V.E. Schwab. You know, I liked Addie LaRue, but I also liked the, what's it called? That fantasy she did. About the Londons. Anyway, I read her City of Ghosts, I think it was called, the middle grade, and wasn't that impressed with it. I don't know if you saw my interview with Alexa Dunn when I asked her about middle grades, and she was saying, well, she just doesn't read enough to feel comfortable writing it. And I wonder sometimes if these authors just aren't that familiar with middle grade genres. Because I know it's a fine line to, oh, come on, to have that voice and not have the characters too smart alecky or too precocious. Of course, Rick Riordan knows how to do it. Bethany recommended today on Livestream. Black Sun? I skipped something. Black Door, okay. You ordered Black Sun today. Interesting. Gideon the Ninth, yes. I actually have a video already done about Gideon the Ninth and the sequel, Tamsin. What am I saying? The sequel to Gideon the Ninth, because I did not like the sequel as much. In fact, I was a little disappointed in the sequel. But Gideon the Ninth, even as a standalone, I think was excellent. Okay. So let's fill in this black. Where things get messy. Oh, Fit, I liked your video on Leviathan Wakes. I do like that series a lot, the Expanse. I also finally saw Cap's video on her top 10 books, most of which I didn't know. Because Cappuccino is a more eclectic reader than I am. I also really like the Amazon, well, it started on the Sci-Fi Channel. For The Expanse. Actually, I think I saw it on the Sci-Fi Channel first, and then I read the books. And I have another friend that was really into The Expanse, and he really disliked the television series when it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, because he was like really specific of wanting the world to be recreated from scratch. Like the Belters are supposed to be physically different, and Amos, he wanted to be bigger, and Naomi, she has this quirk where she brushes her hair away or she puts her hair down when she's nervous or something. And I'm like, dude, what type of budget do you think they have? Whenever a story gets put in a different medium, like a book to a movie or TV series, there's just going to be differences. You're just can't expect miracles. But overall, I thought the series did a pretty good job. Okey-doke. God, you've read so many books I haven't read either. I have gotten some exciting. Oh, great. Oh, you finished Ringworld. The only one I'm thinking of is the Ringworld Engineers. I forgot all the. I would say yes. I mean, he doesn't add that much more sci-fi to his books, so it's retreading old ground. But you find out more and more about the Ringworld and who built it, and recently, like within the past 10 years, if you like the Puppet Masters, he revisited the that Puppet Master race, which is the cowardly race of creatures, which I thought was really good. Not as good as Ringworld, though. Okay. Wilma Fingerdew, how are you? It's so funny you logged in, if you're still here, because I was on Amazon and they have this like gay pride or pride videos or pride recommendations. And one of them was Knock Knock Ghost. And I remember on one of your videos, you had said you're the host of Knock Knock Ghost. So it was so fun to see an episode last night with the infamous Wilma Fingerdew, not in drag. Oh gosh, I have something in my eye. Ghost hunting in Canada. Oh yes, my little Victorian dining room. Wilma does Drag Race reviews and it's just started doing movie reviews, which, by the way, I'm supposed to collab with you, Wilma, on a book, but I thought we were going to wait until Drag Race ends, but Drag Race never ends. It never freaking ends. Because now there's Drag Race Australia, Drag Race España, and All Stars is coming out. So maybe sometime in the fall we can do it. Wilma has the best RuPaul Drag Race recaps. Oh, shoot. Yeah, something was in my eye contact came out. That's fine. Oops, a phone call. Okay, I need to come back to that later. Okay. Do I have enough of this purple that I mixed? I actually just saw Drag Race España yesterday. My problem with foreign language shows or movies is that I feel like I'm either reading the captions and not watching the show, or vice versa. And especially with Drag Race, because I'm like looking at the outfits and everything and I'm missing everything they're talking about. Oh, that's a good question. The episode I saw, they were doing some Civil War, not Civil War. This is Canada. Some, I don't know, something that happened in Canada in the, 1800s? Okay. A defunct asylum. Gosh, just the idea of an abandoned asylum building, just kind of freaky. So, Wilma, I'm doing a collab today with Say Kevi, who was a contestant on Camp Wanakiki season 1, which is, I guess it's like Drag Race, but it's just on YouTube, and it's like Dragula is for the sort of creepy drag queens. Camp Wanakiki is for the camp queens. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. But since I am doing a collab with Kevi, I kind of wanted to do glitter, but I'm always afraid to do glitter in the where I cut the liner, because I don't like getting glitter in my eyes, which I've done before. Actually, this look doesn't need glitter, does it? I will put some pink. I think. Gosh, can't even see it on camera. Okie dokie. Haunted places in Tasmania. That's cool. Our former asylum has been turned into several antique stores. Oh, that would be interesting. I just like theaters. I miss going to live events and performances. Yeah, here in Oakland, there is, what's it called? Grand Lake Theater. And when I lived in San Francisco proper, there's the Castro Theater, and they both maintain sort of that old, I guess from the 20s and 30s, that old architecture and balconies and that Rococo trim. I think this eye look is fine. Let me do the little cat eye thingy. When I did wardrobe for film, there was production offices in a defunct asylum turret. So many people had creepy stories to tell. I don't know if I would want a creepy story. Standing on an empty stage, looking at seats, you still feel the atmosphere. Ooh. Yeah, my problem with drag is that I can't draw a straight line. Okay. Now I think my eyes are done, except for the lashes. They have seen goes. Straight lines are for suckers. Sounds like an Auntie Mame quote. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to go for a more subtle contour, and I don't think it's happening. Let me reapply some blush. Goddess, odd questions. One of my early vids I did 5 likes, dislikes, but don't include a spoiler-free segment. I'm going to re-record it and then patch the new and old together. Do I need to redo it all? I think that's you need to figure that one out yourself. I guess it's good to be consistent. If you have like a spoiler-free section and spoiler section in all your videos, your audience will come to expect it. But I wouldn't redo videos you've already posted if that's what you're asking. Definitely wouldn't do that. Someone suggested I watch a Trixie Mattel tutorial because she's easy to follow, understand, because her face is so exaggerated, you can better see where the shapes should go. I did a Trixie Mattel look once when I was reviewing Katya and Trixie's book, How to Be a Woman, something like that. Look, it's crazy. I think Wilma did a Trixie look too before. But yeah, her shapes are just so huge and exaggerated. You know what I was going to try? I was going to try a black liner for my lip. rather than brown. Where is... Oh, phooey. Making a mess here as per usual. No. Did I mess up all my angle brushes? Yes, they are. Agreed. Trixie and Kaya are brilliant together. I like Trixie on RuPaul's Drag, but respect her talent so much. I think she's actually a lot better after Drag Race with all the things she's doing. I mean, she was good on Drag Race too, but she's taken it to another level in her YouTube channel and her series on Wow Presents. Okay. Back to the Flash palette. I may regret this, but I'm going to try to use black for my lip liner. Oh, I hate lining lips so much because they are never symmetrical. Come on. And I've tried to do that rounded upper lip, and it just doesn't look right to me, on me. At least not the way I do it. Oh gosh, I hope you don't hear my stomach growling. I forgot to eat breakfast today. Okay. Why am I doing black liner? I don't know. I just had this idea. Oh, I thought it would look good with black liner if I do a dark red lip. So let's see if that's true or not. Trixie's documented. Yes, I love Skinny Legend. Wilma, that was a good one. Yeah, I think it was Skinny Legend. Yes, yes. A Betty Davis lip forever, but my Cupid's bow is too pronounced. Forget it to eat. I've gained about 20 pounds since COVID. I am not immune. And for some reason, I'm just eating a lot of potato chips. I'll just blame my husband. He's been buying them, but I've been eating them. I don't know if I like the black lip liner. Let me try and blend it a little bit. How's that look? Actually, not too bad. Okay, our favorite part, eyelashes. Maybe I'll put a little white. Believe it or not, I've almost used up an entire tin of clown white. This has lasted about 2 years, but I go through I use a lot of the clown white, but this is a lot, this little tub. Okay. And I did trim these eyelashes. One down. And I am using the Weave Bond glue because I just like how fast it dries or how fast you can use it. But I also don't put my eyelashes near my actual eye line. They're up quite high. Oops. Okay. Hopefully they don't look wonky. Are they wonky? Oh, Lynette leaving. Bye, Lynette. Yeah, Weave Bond. You're really not supposed to use it near the eyes, by the way. For real women out there, I do not recommend. I mean, or anyone that uses eyelashes in a manner they're supposed to be used. Okay, I need to. Something happened to this wing. Okay. Okie doke. You know, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, but I clean my brushes after each use. But I've seen some drag queens, it seems like they don't. But that just may be me not knowing. But I mean, I'm using flash palettes and creams, and it just seems like you should clean them. Okay. Little pearl earrings. I grabbed the old white and gray poofy wig. What time is it? Oh, it's only 1 o'clock. Did I actually do this in an hour? How come I'm so fast today? Maybe it was a flash palette. I don't know. Did I skip a step? Now I'm getting paranoid. Why am I doing this so fast? And I think we are done with a look. So I'm going to be filming, well, basically, I guess I'm just doing that collab with Kevy. We're filming one video on Kevy's channel and video on my channel, because we each picked a book from each other's TBR. And let me catch up here. You can clutch your pearls. Record time. Yeah, I don't know why this is so fast. Did you see NK Jemisin is adapting her trilogy? Oh, that would be, I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about the Broken Earth trilogy. That would be a very difficult trilogy to adapt. So but I'm in for it. I am interested. Oh yeah, check out Wilma's. Thank you, Fit. It must be a series. Gosh, I'm thinking of the first book of the Broken Earth, and I don't know how they're going to make that Hollywood, if you know what I mean, because a lot of it's introspective. Thank you. Like it was for a film, but not sure. All I know is she is writing. Oh, really? Okay, well, now I'm triply interested. Yes, the Broken Earth trilogy. The first book I read by her was I think it was the 100 Kingdoms trilogy. And I think I got her debut novel. And I was very impressed with that. But the Broken Earth, of course, is something totally different. And being from California, of course, we seem to be educated a little bit more on earthquakes than other people. So it was fascinating reading. If you don't know, there's a lot of seismic activity on Earth in her, I guess it's post-apocalyptic, but her far future novels. Okay, guys. Well, I think I have time to eat something before I meet up with Kevy. So I don't want my stomach to be growling during our collab. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Lovely to see you here, Wilma. I so want to do a collab with you still. And I want to see more of those knock knock ghosts. Because whenever you say seriously out of drag, I'm like, oh, there's Wilma. And everyone have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully I'll see you next. Oh, as I told you before, I'm in the middle of moving this month. And I'm hoping to keep doing these Saturday live streams as long as I can. But at some point, of course, I'll have to stop for several weeks. But I'm 80% sure I'll be here next week. So I hope to see you then. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. And as always, may all the books you read be blessed.